Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are staring down a problem that I think, well, every single person in tech is feeling right now, whether they admit it or not. It's that feeling of being almost overwhelmed by opportunity.
You mean the kid in a candy store problem, but the candy store is also actively on fire.
Yes, that is the perfect way to put it. We have these incredible tools at our fingertips.
Oh,
We've
absolutely.
got Claude Code, OpenAI Codex, OpenCode, and they're brilliant. They can generate entire functions in, like, seconds.
Right.
But the workflow, it is an absolute mess. I find myself just drowning in tabs, copying and pasting context between windows, trying to remember which AI I told to fix what.
It's classic fractured attention.
Totally.
It really is the modern developer's dilemma. We have these agents that can write code, but managing them takes up almost as much brain power as just writing the code yourself.
You spend half your day just context switching.
You do. And you end up mastering nothing because you're just trying to keep 10 different windows open.
Which brings us to today's focus. We're doing a deep dive on a tool called Maestro. And its tagline is pretty bold. It calls itself an agent orchestration command center.
Yeah.
And, right off the bat, that word orchestration, that feels significant.
It's a very deliberate choice of word. Orchestration implies you're not just playing an instrument anymore.
Right.
You're not the soloist trying to play everything at once. You are conducting the symphony.
I like that.
And that's the core shift Maestro is pushing for, moving the developer from the person typing the syntax to the person directing the fleet.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. What exactly is Maestro? Because from the docs, this is not just another web app you run in a browser.
No, and that's really the first filter for the audience. Maestro is a cross-platform desktop app, Mac, Windows, Linux.
Standard stuff.
But it has a very specific user in mind. This is built for hackers, for power users.
The people who live in the terminal.
People who live in the terminal and treat the mouse like it's made of lava.
The keyboard-first crowd. The ones who know their Vim shortcuts by heart.
Precisely. Its whole mission is to take that fractured attention and hone it into what they call focused intent.
Okay.
The idea is that one single user can orchestrate a whole fleet of AI agents, all running in parallel.
So not just one chat window where you wait for a response.
No. Multiple streams of development all happening at the same time at high velocity.
Before we get into the features, and I see some really technical ones like Git Worktrees we need to unpack, we have to clarify the architecture.
Yeah, that's crucial.
Because my first thought was, okay, is this another model, a competitor to Claude? Do I need to cancel my other subscriptions?
No, and that's a key distinction. Maestro is not an AI model. It's more of an architecture layer. The docs call it a pass-through to your existing AI providers.
So it's the interface, not the brain.
It's the podium.
Yeah.
To keep that conductor metaphor going, if you've got your authentication set up for Claude Code or OpenAI Codex, Maestro just hooks into that. It respects your environment.
So it's not trying to replace the intelligence.
No. It's trying to organize it.
Which is huge for security and just setup time. I'm guessing this means it plays nice with things like MCP too.
It does. For anyone listening who's maybe not deep in the weeds yet, MCP is Model Context Protocol.
Right.
It's basically a standard, so AI models can connect to external tools and data safely. So if you have MCP tools set up for Claude-like, giving it access to your file system, Maestro just inherits all of that.
It doesn't reinvent the wheel.
It just gives you a better steering wheel.
I like that. So what's supported now? I see Claude Code, Codex, OpenCode, and something called Factory Droid.
Yep, and they've got Gemini CLI and Qwen 3 Coder on the roadmap based on user demand. It's meant to be agnostic.
You pick the musicians.
You pick some musicians and Maestro tells them when to play, which is key because the best model changes almost weekly. You don't want your whole workflow locked into a model that falls behind.
Okay, let's talk about playing. Because usually when I use an AI assistant, it's very interactive, a lot of back and forth. I type, it types, I wait.
You stare at the blinking cursor.
Exactly. But Maestro claims to change that with unattended sessions.
This is the breakthrough. The creator, Pedro Mamini, he mentions a personal record in the docs, nearly 24 hours of continuous runtime.
Wait, hold on. 24 hours? A single session?
A single continuous workflow.
How does that not just devolve into, I don't know, hallucinations? After an hour, my AI starts forgetting what file we're even in.
Well, that's the orchestration part. It's not one long chat context where the buffer just fills up with noise. Maestro manages the state. You give the AI a spec, a set of instructions, and you walk away.
Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it for software development, yeah.
That sounds like magic. But practically, if an agent is running for that long, it's got to be doing multiple things, right?
It does. And to do that without them tripping over each other, well, that brings us to the power features.
Okay.
The documentation points to something called Git Worktrees as a game changer. Now, I know Git, I know branches, but I admit I rarely use Worktrees.
Yeah, I usually just switch branches and my whole folder changes.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the standard flow. You switch to feature B, and the files for feature A just vanish until you switch back. You can only be in one reality at a time. Now, what if you want 3 AIs working on 3 different bugs at once? If they're all trying to write to the same folder, it's chaos.
Right. Agent A writes a file, Agent B immediately deletes it because its branch logic is different.
Exactly. Git Worktrees let you check out multiple branches of the same repository into different directories at the same time.
Ah, I see. So they're like different folders on your hard drive, but they all feed back into the same Git history.
You got it. And Maestro leverages this to run agents on these isolated branches in parallel. You could be on the main branch doing your own work. And meanwhile, Maestro spins up Agent A in a worktree for branch A and Agent B in another worktree for branch B.
So they're completely sandboxed from each other.
Totally. They operate in their own little universes, they process tasks in the background, and when they're done, Maestro helps you create a PR with one click.
That is incredibly powerful. You're not just cloning a repo, you're cloning yourself.
It's like having a team of junior developers who live inside your laptop.
And who don't need coffee breaks.
And who don't need coffee breaks.
Okay, but what about repetition? Say I have a standard workflow. Every time I touch a component, I want the AI to run the linter, generate tests, update the change log.
Right.
I don't want to prompt it every single time, please run the linter, please write tests. It gets old.
No, and that's where auto run and playbooks come in. Think of it like a file system-based task runner, but for intelligence.
Almost like a CI/CD pipeline, but for AI.
Very similar vibe. You create a playbook, which is really just a markdown checklist of what you want done.
So it reads the list and just starts ticking the boxes.
It does. But here's the critical part, and this gets back to your earlier point about the AI forgetting things.
Okay.
For every single task in that playbook, Maestro spins up a fresh session with clean context.
No, that's smart. So task 1 doesn't pollute the brain of task 2.
Exactly. It prevents that drift where the AI gets confused by something you talked about 3 hours ago. It turns the AI from a chatty assistant into a reliable worker.
It's moving from chat to process.
That's a great way to put it.
But sometimes you do need chat, especially when you need a second opinion. I saw a feature called group chat. Now, usually group chat is where productivity goes to die. But this is different.
Yes. This is not for sharing memes. This is a committee of AIs. Imagine you have a complex architectural question. You don't just want Claude's opinion.
You want to cross-reference it.
Right. So Maestro sets up a moderator AI that orchestrates a discussion between multiple agents.
So there's a boss AI managing the meeting.
Basically, yeah. The moderator routes questions to the right agent. Maybe one is better at databases, another at front end, and then it synthesizes all the responses.
It's like a panel discussion.
It is. It's perfect for those high-level discussions where you need a consensus.
I love the mental image of AIs arguing about SQL versus NoSQL while I go grab a coffee.
And while you're grabbing that coffee, you don't even have to lose touch. This brings us to a feature that really, really surprised me. Mobile remote control.
This sounded like a gimmick to me at first. Controlling my dev environment from my phone.
I thought so too.
But then I thought about that 24-hour runtime.
Exactly. If you have a job running that takes 4 hours, you're not going to sit at your desk staring at it.
No way.
So Maestro has a built-in web server.
It generates a QR code, right?
It does. You scan it, and bam, you have a dashboard on your phone, works on your local network, or you can tunnel it through Cloudflare and access it from anywhere.
So I can literally be walking my dog, check my phone, and see if Agent 3 has finished the unit tests.
Yep. And you can intervene. If an agent gets stuck or asks for a clarification, you can reply from your phone, and it just keeps going. It really reinforces that idea that you're the manager.
You check in, you nudge, but you aren't doing the manual labor.
Exactly.
Now, for when you are at the desk, let's talk UI. We said it's for power users. What does that actually feel like?
It feels like flow state. If you've used tools like Superhuman or Linear, you know the vibe.
Keyboard first.
Totally. CMD plus K for a quick actions palette. CMD plus J instantly switches you between the AI and the terminal.
And they have this dual mode session concept. What's that about?
So every agent needs a place to talk to you and a place to execute code, right?
Sure.
Maestro puts this in one pane. You have the AI terminal for conversation and a command terminal for shell commands. You can toggle between them instantly. No more alt-tabbing to a separate window to run the code the AI just wrote.
It keeps you in the content.
It removes that micro-friction.
And speaking of keeping you engaged, they've gamified this a little.
They have. And I know gamification can make developers roll their eyes. We don't need badges.
Right.
But this is kind of charming. It tracks your mastery. There are 11 conductor-themed ranks. You start as an apprentice, and you can level up all the way to Titan of the Baton.
Titan of the Baton. Okay. I admitted I'd probably grind a few extra hours for that title.
See? It's a small detail, but it speaks to the culture. It acknowledges that learning to orchestrate effectively is a skill in itself.
But let's get serious. If I'm paying for my own API keys, running a fleet of agents sounds expensive.
Very expensive.
Does Maestro help me not go bankrupt? Because that token count could be massive.
It does. This is where the expert persona really comes through. There's a usage dashboard. Opt plus CMD plus U.
Okay.
It tracks real-time token usage and costs per session and globally.
So no surprise bill at the end of the month where I find out my agent spent $500 trying to center a div.
Hopefully not. It gives you heat maps, shows you the distribution of user versus auto-run activity. You can even export it all to a CSV if you really want to crunch the numbers.
It makes it measurable.
You can actually calculate the ROI of an agent. This one cost me $450, but it saved me 3 hours. That's a real calculation you can make now.
There's another visualization tool that caught my eye, the document graph. Is that just eye candy?
It's actually very practical for big projects. It automatically discovers wiki links in all your markdown files, your docs, your specs. And it builds a visual knowledge graph, interactive nodes and edges.
Like a detective's obsession board, with the strings connecting all the clues.
Exactly like that. It helps you see the topology of your documentation, how ideas are connected. It turns your docs into a browsable brain.
And I have to mention one quality of life feature that's actually super practical. Speakable notifications.
The computer talks to you.
It uses text-to-speech to announce when an agent completes a task.
Which, again, ties back to that multitasking aspect. You can be focused on something else entirely, and the room will just tell you job complete. You only engage when you're summoned.
It really leans into that conductor role. You don't stare at the musicians, you listen for when they finish.
Precisely. It creates a presence. The AI isn't just a text box, it's a teammate in the room with you.
And, of course, since we're talking dev tools, we have to mention themes. Does it have dark mode?
It's a requirement. If it's not dark mode, we send it back.
Exactly.
It has 12 themes: Dracula, Monokai, Nord, Tokyo Night, all the classics. It knows its audience.
So let's zoom out a bit. What's the context of this project? Is this some venture-backed startup about to hit me with a pricing page?
No, and that's the beauty of it. It's an open source project, AGPL 3.0 license, and it's almost entirely written in TypeScript, like 99.6% of the code base.
And we should give credit. The creator is Pedramamini. I saw the docs refer to him as the creator and benevolent dictator.
A classic open source title. It signals a strong vision, but it's community-driven, and the project is very active. The version we're looking at, VO.14.5, is from January 24, 2026. This is fresh!
So this brings us to the big picture. We started with the problem of fractured attention. Does Maestro actually solve it?
I think it does, but it demands a shift in mindset. It really does shift you from coding to orchestrating. If you just use this as another chatbot, you're missing the whole point.
They're not just typing anymore.
You're managing a workforce. The UI, the Worktrees, the playbooks, they're all designed to elevate you out of the weeds.
It really feels like a glimpse into the future of programming. It's not about how fast you type. It's about how well you can direct traffic and define specs.
And that leads to a really fascinating implication. If one person using a tool like this can manage a 24-hour continuous fleet of agents, productivity is just not linear anymore.
Right. It becomes exponential. One developer isn't doing one developer's worth of work.
Exactly. You're scaling your intent. The only barrier is your ability to clearly describe what you want done.
So here's the question I want to leave our listeners with. If one developer can now do the work of a small team by orchestrating agents, what becomes the new minimum baseline for productivity? Are we moving toward a world where every senior developer is expected to be a maestro of their own synthetic fleet?
It's a provocative thought. The baton is in your hand. The question is, are you ready to conduct?
That's all for this deep dive on Maestro. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Keep learning.